You know, the thing with my Goldwing, Mr. Pat, is it's kind of like a pilot. You know, a pilot, he doesn't get in the airplane and call the tower and ask for clearance and take off. That's not how it works. He basically, you know, you have to file a flight plan. You know, saying where you want to go and all of this kind of stuff. But before a pilot takes off, he has to do his pre-flight checklist. And so he goes through the engines, he goes through the flap, batteries, generator. You know, my bike is kind of the same way. I'm kind of set up like a pilot. I can't just take off.
Goldwing Ride, a shadowy flight into the dangerous world of a man who is fearless. A young loner on a crusade to champion the cause in a world of reckless automobiles. These are my motovlogs.
Yeah, you gotta do a pre-flight, man.
I gotta do a pre-flight check.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Pat, today I'm going to take you up to Boomland.
All right.
We're going to be meeting up with Long Haul. Long Haul is actually coming out of Indianapolis, Indiana.
Okay.
He's going to be making his way down 57 South. And we're going to meet up with him in Boomland.
All right.
And we're going to ride him on down to where he's staying. He's actually going back to Austin.
You said Austin?
Yeah, he lives in Austin.
Oh, that'd be a nice ride.
Yeah, he's coming through, and I just want to give him just try to give him an escort. You know, that's the thing about when bikers are in your area. Sometimes you want to kind of ride with them, man. You know, when you're riding with somebody, it makes a world of difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes a world of difference. You know, especially when you have these headsets like we have, we're talking on the Cardo. And speaking of Cardo, Mr. Pat, how are you liking your Cardo Pack-On Pro? How is it working out for you?
Oh, it's perfect, man. It's great.
Okay, good deal, man. Good deal. You notice the clarity. Your headset is real clear. I can hear you loud and clear, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might make another purchase probably.
You're going to make another purchase?
Yeah, man.
Alrighty.
Yeah. I think they got go on for like 3.5 or something like that.
Oh, okay. So in other words, you need the Caliente special.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you're telling me.
Oh, yeah, for sure then. Yeah.
I got you. I got the special for you. It feels good being out on the bike, man. I've been isolated for a week.
Yeah, and man, you were down hard. Man. You were down hard, boy.
Mr. Pat, I was down like 4 flats on the dump truck.
Wow.
And you know, that's down.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's what happens, man. When you, sometimes when you come down sick, man, there's nothing you can do.
No. You know, a lot of people don't believe it, man, but the doctor tell you to go home, get rest. That's probably the best thing you can do, is just do nothing.
Yeah. You know, and the thing about it, you know, even with me, man, I was burning, as they say, burning the midnight oil.
Yeah.
And, you know, or they say burning the candles on both ends. Well, not only was I burning the candles on both ends, I was burning the candles up the middle, around the side, and I started to burn the wax. And, you know, that's nothing you can do. That's why when you travel, you got to make sure that you have some resources, man, because, you know, what happens if you get sick out on the roadway?
Yeah.
You know, you may have to stay in a hotel an extra few days.
Yeah.
You know, you may have to stay out there. So you can't just travel with just enough. You have to have some extras, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but I'm glad you got your Cardo, man. You sound real good, man.
Yeah, this guy I know hooked me up, man.
He hooked you up, huh?
Yeah, this guy I know, he's pretty cool.
Hey, hook you up, man. Hook you up like a tow truck. It's a little nipped out here, man. It's 6 to 8 degrees right now, but they're calling for a high today around 675, so we're going to see how that works out.
I think it rained a little bit last night. It looked like this stuff is blowing out from last night.
Right.
Yeah.
You got your Apple CarPlay working? Did we get you?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I actually did a video, you know, kind of going in depth about the Cardo, you know, doing some troubleshooting and, you know, trying to show some viewers how to navigate sometimes when they run into a problem with the Cardo. It happens.
Yeah, I still gotta dig through my boxes and find that so I can swap them out.
Yeah. You gonna look at the 10S for your little dummy in the glove box?
Yeah, you know, I looked online because I was like, screw it, I'll just buy another one. They were like $300 for that thing, man, and it's old technology, bro.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, so I gotta dig in them boxes, man, and find that bad boy.
If you need an old if you need an old Cena 20S, you know.
I just don't want to keep my 50 in here. I can put that on a different helmet.
Right.
So yeah, I'm gonna dig through there, see if I can't find my old ones.
Right. You know what I got in my glove box for my dummy, Mr. Pat?
What's that?
I got my old Cena SMH10.
Yes, that's what I'm looking for. I got two of them, but I just gotta go through all these boxes from when we moved here.
If you don't ever find it, you know, I got an old Cena 20S.
Okay. All right.
I'll make you an outstanding deal.
Man, you know what? I'm gonna have to go ahead and put you on my W-2, man. Be taking all my little pocket change.
I'm about to go get another job.
Yeah.
Brother Cowboy tried to warn him. He said, man, you got to save up to ride for Chris, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
shoot.
So get all your little money.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times when I buy stuff, Mr. Pat, I'll duplicate stuff, man.
Yeah.
You know, I was talking to a friend of mine this morning. He has a Can-Am trailer.
Okay.
And he said, Chris, man, I need to get me some tires, man. My tires, you know, about wore down on my trailer. I need to get some new tires. I said, well, look no further. I said, I'll tell you what. I got some Can-Am Spider trailer wheels with some new tires already installed on them.
Wow.
I'll make you a good deal on the wheels with the tires already on them. All you got to do is bolt them on.
Just swing by the Caliente garage.
Yeah, I got you, man. I got you.
Yeah, you've been doing this thing for a long time, so you got a lot of spare parts.
Right, exactly. You know, got a lot of spare parts for you. Good highway here. 51 here is a good highway.
Yeah, I have to ride with my finger on my horn.
Yeah, you kind of got to watch out for a few cars.
All right.
It is what it is. Maybe, Mr. Pat, the last time I tried to take you up that road there, it was closed. Maybe, I don't know if they'll have time to run that way. I need to put in my map. What do you?
See,
I like about my fingers gloves, I can go ahead and.
You guys cop in that lane over there.
Yeah, my unit in the kind of beat. A unit in the R4 Extreme.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, I've been kind of like you too. I had to buy double because my wife.
Yeah. Sometimes I buy double, triple. Sometimes I have to buy extra stuff just to get what I really want.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you may have to buy extra just to get.
Yeah.
Get what you want, and then sometimes you only use it one time. I bought tools that only use one time.
Wow.
You know, 10 years go by, and he's like, you know what? I'm glad I bought this tool. That's how I need it.
Well, it's good they're fixing the road.
Yeah, they need
But they should be doing this stuff at night.
Yeah, that's the thing about here in the South, man. They'll do it in the daytime.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Wow, what's with this dude up here, man? Why are you riding on the shoulder like that?
Man, people are...
All it's doing is kicking up dirt, dust, and shit.
Yep. People, man, they'll do anything.
Yeah, that's just crazy. Unless you're trying to go in that ditch.
When we parent your car onto your bike, what did we parent? We didn't parent in bike parent. We used the phone parent, right?
Oh, I thought we did mesh.
I'm talking about when we parented to your Goldwing. Didn't we parent to your Goldwing? No, we didn't parent to your Goldwing.
Nah.
We using the dummy, right? To run your Apple CarPlay, is that right?
Yeah, we use the dummy.
Yeah. I wonder on the 2025 Honda Goldwing, do you have to pair the headset to the bike in order for the Apple CarPlay to work?
Huh.
Now, I know, with our year model, some guys are, buying the wireless Bluetooth dongle and pairing it to the phone. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying, do you have to pair a headset to your bike, to the 2025, in order for the Apple CarPlay to work? So in other words, even though the bike says they got wireless Apple CarPlay, are they requiring you to pair a headset to the bike? Or could you just plug in your phone and then it just makes it work like on my vehicle? My vehicle, I just plug it in.
Right.
I don't have to have a headset. On my car, I just plug in my phone and my Apple CarPlay work. But I'm wondering, is it like that on the 2025?
I don't know. Sound like you need to do some investigation there, mister.
Sound like I need some investigation.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just curious. Did they solve that problem? Or, is it still the same? You have to take a headset and pair it to the bike and, I just wonder about it. That's all. Maybe some of my viewers that, watch this can answer that question.
I don't know.
Change.
I'm not sure, but I like the fact that the 24 and below, you got a repetitive system. You can use your phone or you can use your bike. I like that.
Right. That's true. And you have the native GPS. Didn't go off now, either.
Yeah, I think I seen a thing about the 3 places not to eat at.
And Waffle House was one of them?
Yeah, the food grade was pretty bad, man.
Well, does that speak for all of them, or was it just that particular location?
I don't know.
That's the thing about restaurants. Sometimes one restaurant can give the other restaurants a bad name. Just like I had mentioned about the Harley dealership. I had seen the video about a Harley dealership. I don't remember the name of the Harley dealership, but they was destroying this Honda Goldwing. Did you see that video?
No.
Online? Yeah, they had a Honda Goldwing, and they took a sledgehammer to the Goldwing. Everybody was taking turns busting up this Honda Goldwing. Now, it was an older Goldwing, probably 95, 98 or something like that. It was prior to 2000. It was not probably the late 90s. Might have been before that. Might have been 88. But neither here nor there. Everybody was taking turns taking a sledgehammer and busting up this Goldwing that was at a Harley dealership that was in the parking lot. So it was like an event. They was just busting up this Honda Goldwing.
Right. What was the purpose of all that, though?
I don't know. And so, does that speak for Harley as a whole? Does that mean that, Harley as a whole have a problem with Goldwings? I don't think so. I just think it was that one isolated dealership.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, but kind of like the restaurants, just because one restaurant had bad ratings, does that mean all of them bad, or is it just that one? Who knows? But back to the Goldwing and the Harley dealership. I don't know. I don't know why they did that.
Yeah, but that's the thing too. When you're in your official capacity, whether you're franchised or not, you're still representing a logo.
That's true.
And so, if like if you're Honda and you got freaking a Harley in your garage, why would people want to buy a Honda and you're the Honda man?
Right. That's true. You got to Mr. Pat.
You got to represent 100% all the time when you're in your official capacity, Well,
that's true. That's why I'm brand loyal to the Goldwing. That's one of the reasons why you don't see me test riding Indians and all of this stuff. I don't knock anybody that does, but for me, that's just not me. If I test ride something, it'll be a Honda.
Yeah, I love my bike, man. But yeah. I love riding more, So I'm not judging nobody on what they ride. You ride
right,
what you,
exactly.
What you like.
Exactly. If you like it, I love it. That's what I say. If you want to ride a Goldwing, ride a Goldwing. If you want to ride a Harley, ride a Harley. If you want to ride a Rose Canali that rolled down one hill and Canali make it up the next.
Right.
Hey, be my guest. Ride it. But I don't know why they put a sledgehammer to the Goldwing. I just kind of thought that was distasteful.
Yeah. Very.
I don't ride a Harley, but I wouldn't put a sledgehammer to a Harley. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I may joke about them and say they loud and they shake, and you have to be a mechanic to learn, to ride a Harley, or, their saddlebags, are full of parts because they have to pick them up along the highway as they travel.
Oh, you ain't right, boy.
I may say things like you can fry an egg on your leg if you're riding a Harley because it's so hot. I may say things like, when you get in from riding a Harley, you have to take headache medicine because your teeth are still chattering. But in reality, I would never put a sledgehammer to a Harley. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't have anything negative to say to anybody riding anything other than a Goldwing. It's your choice.
Right, exactly.
Some people, everybody don't like the same ride. I like smooth, comfortable.
Right.
Some people like it bouncy and hard. Who knows? But
right,
you choose your ride.
Right.
And it really ain't nobody should really have anything to say because none of us own Harley or Goldwing.
Right.
At the end of the day, they just taking our money at the end of the day.
Right. Right. You're 1,000% correct. And that's why I say, buy what you like. Everybody trying to impress others. Now, buy what you like. That's why you see the guys hopping from bike to bike to bike to bike to bike. They don't know if they coming or going.
Yeah.
Get what you like. Don't worry about somebody. Friend of mine, he's not living anymore, but he loved his victory. And I was out with him one day, and there was a bunch of Harley guys, and he said, "Man, he said, Chris, I was the only Goldwing in the group. It might have been 10 Harleys and a couple victories, and I was the only Goldwing." And he said, "Chris, don't you feel kind of odd, man?" I said, "No." I said, "Because I bought what I want. I'm happy with my bike, with my purchase."
Yeah.
I feel good. I can't speak for nobody else. I don't feel inferior because I'm around a bunch of Harleys.
Yeah, but you tell them, talk to me in 3 hours.
Right.
Holler at me in 3 hours how to get in that battle.
Yeah, exactly. So he's like, "No, I bought what I wanted." That's why you have to do things for you. You can't do them for other people. You got to do it for you.
Yeah, well, and not for what's popular. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think that has a lot to do with it too.
Yeah.
What's popular.
Right.
like this riding thing. This riding thing that blew up in like the last 4 or 5 years too, man. If you look back to before COVID, you didn't have all this, you know, hoopla for riding. You know,
Right.
Everybody and their grandpa with a YouTube channel trying to ride.
Yeah. You're right about that now.
But it's a good thing because I be getting a lot of information from these dudes. But you know, but then there's some dudes you can tell they watching other people's videos and not being not keeping it 100.
Being authentic. Yeah, that's true, man. You know, that's one reason why I don't watch a lot of different channels and stuff, man. Well, for one, I don't have time, but for two, I try to just be original, man. You know, I don't want to unconsciously use somebody else's stuff, man. So I try to just focus on what I'm doing most of the time. But yeah, you have to do what you like. Do what makes you happy, man. That's just like people will complain about the stuff that's on my handlebars. Man, you got all of this stuff on your handlebars. You got an extra camera. You got 2 phones. You got what's all of that for? It's for me. It's for me.
Yeah.
It's what I like. You know what I mean? It's what I like, Mr. Pat. I mean, people don't realize, you know, they like watching the videos, but they don't realize how much it takes to make the video.
Yes, sir.
Everybody can take a microphone and shove it in their helmet and do a video. But, you know, there's a lot more to it. You've been around me long enough to know, man. That's why I say I'm like a pilot. I have to pull out the pre-flight checklist and make sure everything is right. Otherwise, you know, something is not going to be on. And all it takes is if one thing is not on, it throws everything out of whack. So I have to make sure everything is on.
You know, when you get those questions, Chris, some of them be honest inquiries. But I can tell you just by the time I rode with you, a lot of it that's trolling, bro. They just want to figure out what system you got running through your bike so they can duplicate it. You know, it's just trolling, bro.
Right.
They want to find out why your communications are so clear and your videos are so clear.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And they trolling. They trying to find out the secret. You know.
They want the Caliente sauce.
Exactly. But they trying to make it sound like, man, you got so much going on there. You know, what's that all about? But what they're really saying is, hey, man, I want to be able to have my stuff sound like yours, man. You know, just keep it 100 and stop all the trolling, man.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, man. That's true.
Ain't nothing wrong with admiring somebody's stuff and saying, hey, how do I get there? Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Right.
The worst you can say is, hey, bro, you know, some things I just ain't going to divulge.
Right. Exactly. Some things I don't divulge. You know what I mean? Some things is like, you know, this is not public, you know.
Yeah. The worst thing is no. And that ain't going to hurt you.
Yep. Like one guy asked me, he saw me pulling the bearings out of my wheel. He said, you know, can you give me the part number on that bearing puller? I said, no, because I actually created this bearing puller. So it was fabricated by me, and I can't give you a part number. But here's somebody that makes one.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look to the left, man, that water's still kind of high over there.
It really is. I noticed that.
When was the last time we was up here? Like, maybe a month ago?
Yeah, me and you and Taco was up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and you and Taco was up here, so it's been a minute. Man, the highway here, man. Good days for riding, man. All that rain that we've had and all the rain that's been coming across the United States, we needed it, but man, it's been a lot of it. We haven't, at least on this part of the country. We can't speak for the West, but for the East, man, we've been getting hammered.
I know my pond is the highest it's been since I've been here. I've never seen it that high.
Really?
Yeah, man. I got turtles. like I got dogs, man.
Okay.
Yeah, them must be all over the place.
Turtles. Shouts out to Turkey out there in the Fort Worth area.
Yeah.
Somebody turned his light on.
Have you been there, Chris? This Alex Haley Museum?
Man, if I have, it's been so long ago. I was in school. That's how long it's been. I remember coming down here in school on a field trip one time. We came down here, and man, that was probably, man, I might have been in elementary school.
Yeah,
I think when the last time I came to that museum, Moby Dick was a minnow.
Well, you talking about age now, boy?
Hey man, I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not ashamed of my age, Pat. Moby Dick,
go ahead,
man.
Man,
you know that was a long time ago.
yeah, boy. Shoot. That's back when you got ice delivered for your fridge.
Right.
Hey, you know, I was thinking about that the other day, man. Some things were so good back in the day, and they just shouldn't have went away because of technology, man.
Right.
Hey, you remember how there was a dude that would come around and sharpen everything up?
Uh-huh.
You know,
yep.
Stop. Yeah, they need to bring that back, man, because, you know, these little sharpeners and can openers, this stuff, that stuff don't work, man.
A lot of this stuff is cheaply made overseas, man, made in Xinjiang, China.
Hey, man, we have to stop at that stand on the way back, bro.
The stand, you saw a watermelon?
I think I did.
Yeah, because the first lady said, baby, you need to bring a watermelon back. Where you get that watermelon from? I said, baby, I found that watermelon from the side of the road. The guy was selling it. And as a matter of fact, Mr. Pat, I went back up there.
Oh, you did?
I went back up there, but he wasn't there. Sure did, Mr. Pat. Yeah, she said that watermelon was so good. I think he said he got it out of Missouri. It wasn't Florida.
No, it was Florida.
It was Florida.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was asking him, how you got all these mugs so early in the season, bro?
Right.
And he was like, man, I get them from a guy from Florida, but I'm going to start getting them. I'm going to start getting them from Missouri because Florida costing me too much.
And that watermelon was so sweet. First lady said, where did you get this watermelon? I said, babe, I bought it at a gas station. This guy was standing at a gas station up the road selling watermelons out of his truck.
Yeah.
She said, we need to get another one of those. So I actually got on my motorcycle, went back up there, but, you know, of course he wasn't there. Just put some days later.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you see a watermelon stand, say something, because I'll buy it and put it in my trailer.
Yeah, I'm going to have some for you here in a month or two, because mine are looking pretty good, man.
Yeah, okay, you growing something?
Yeah, growing like 3 different kinds of watermelon and 3 different kinds of cantaloupe.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and we're in Ripley, Tennessee.
A friend of mine from Cali, man, he was born here in Ripley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he actually came out here to a family reunion the second year I lived here, so he stopped through.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Mr. AJ out there in Cali.
You know, you can run this highway all the way to Indianapolis, man.
Yeah. I was telling Taka that we could go see that arch.
Yeah, no, that's in St. Louis.
St. Louis, yeah.
Yeah.
Indianapolis, yeah. UT Martin.
Yeah. Man, you want to roll up there, Mr. Pat, just let me know, man.
Huh?
I said, you want to roll up and see the arch, just let me know.
Yeah, that'll be a good little trip. Yeah, I know Taka, she's going to be back sometime this upcoming week.
Right.
And I think her vacation time is pretty much ate up. So
right.
I had to do a couple trips without her. She'll be all right, though. She don't mind.
She don't mind.
Show mine.
Don't be like me, sleeping on the Goldwing. No, I'm just kidding, man. I ain't sleeping on the Goldwing. I told the first lady, wherever I sleep, you sleep. If I had to sleep in the garage, you sleeping out there with me.
Yes, sir.
Wherever you go, I go.
Yep.
That's the deal. If I gotta get on the couch, she gotta get on the couch.
Yep. That's why Taka don't ride with me 90% of the time.
She wants a wing, huh? But the wing is too tall for her.
Yeah, if I could lower that thing, that's what I wanted to get.
I'm sure it could be done. You know, I've never gotten a lowering bike, but I'm sure it could be done. I know who probably would know that would probably be Matt McAllister with Traction Dynamics.
Oh, yeah, I
guarantee you, if there's a way to do it, I guarantee Matt, that would be a good start. He probably would know how to do it.
Yeah.
Because he does that, you know, that rear suspension for the Goldwing. And if you told him you want it lowered, he make it. I don't know if he can make you a special shock that'll lower it or what. You know, I don't know, but if there's a way to lower it,
I was thinking if you take like maybe a half an inch of the foam out of the saddle, you know, shaved it up a little bit, that should lower you at least an inch. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, I don't know, because it's heat and all that stuff, if it's possible. Sure, it could be.
It could be done. Where there's a wheel, there's a way.
Yeah.
It could be done, I promise you that.
Yeah. But I'm one of those dudes, man. When I pay as much as I did for this bike, I don't want to have to add nothing that I need everything to be there.
Right. Right about that. Yeah, we paying good money for this stuff, man.
Say again?
I said we paying good money for this.
Yeah.
Yeah. We paying good money for these bikes, man. We don't want to have to go spend extra money on top of the money we already spent.
Yeah.
Dang, this is perfect now. It's about almost 6. I got 69. What you showing yours too?
70.
It's on 70?
69. Just flicking back and forth.
Yeah.
This is perfect ride weather, though.
Yeah, it is.
Can chop the wind out a little bit. But I think that's my next purchase is some wind deflectors. And I gotta find somewhere that does rims, man. I want me some rims, some spokes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know that much about the wheels outside of the original wheels. I know a guy who I could talk to that may know something. Do you want some spokes for the front wheel or the back? Or you can my both?
Both. I saw some. They were, on this website.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking as long as the wheel width is the same and you can adapt it for, the rear drive, but it looked like it was already set up for rear drive anyway.
Right.
As long as you can match that stuff up and the tire the rim is the same size. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you got a point. I mean, the wheel pattern.
Yeah.
The lug pattern.
The stuff just say, when you're looking, it's like a lot of the stuff is saying Harley.
Right. Yeah, that's true. But some stuff is interchangeable, but it's not listed. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the only thing about it. It's interchangeable, but it's not listed. There's something in the road right there. Is that a turtle? That's a turtle in the road.
Yeah, I went around it.
Okay. Yeah, some stuff is interchangeable, but it's not listed.
Yeah, because I seen a nice set, man, and I started looking, but I couldn't find nothing that said, definitively. But it did give me the size, though. So I guess if the size fits, I just got to talk to somebody, I guess.
Right. Yeah, that's a good question, man. I just roll with the OEM wheels. So.
I don't know. It's like when I bought this bike, I had a vision, you know, and that's a big part of it right there.
Right.
The rims and tires.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure everybody has that, the way they want to set their bike up. Oh, right. We got one.
Go to the left lane.
Yeah. It's just beautiful scenery, though, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's perfect weather, too.
Yes, sir.
Highway 51.
This my run, boy.
Yeah. Good little road here, man. The road is just like 55, but...
Wow. Okay.
Kind of sort of runs north and south.
Did your unit didn't holler out to you?
Yeah, it did. I just wasn't really paying that much attention to it. I need to turn the volume up on it. I can turn the volume all the way up. Mr. Pat, how those short road exhaust working out for you?
I like it, man. You know,
good, man. Good.
I don't think I'll be changing it for a while.
I'm glad it worked out for you, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a satisfied customer.
They call you the man. Miss Pat, is my trailer still back there?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
Straight as an arrow.
One time I forget it's behind me.
What kind of trailer is that again?
Escapade. Mm-hmm.
So what's the difference between an Escapade and a Can-Am? What makes the Escapade stand out or better?
I mean, they're both good trailers. They're just two different manufacturers. I mean, I wouldn't say one is better than the other. I think the Escapade might be a little bit bigger, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm not sure of the cubic inches. They're both good trailers, just two different, just two different manufacturers. It's like saying,
Okay. Let me ask you this. Having a trailer, does that affect your bike insurance at all?
No. Not that I know of. I mean, I have a policy on both of them. I have a policy. Well, I'm going to stay farm, so I have a policy on the trailer and on the bike.
Right.
So, but I don't. No, I don't. I never even thought about that. I don't think so.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about when I pulled my toy hauler, I just had to have insurance on both of them.
Right.
Yeah, it didn't affect it at all.
Yeah, like with State Farm, they if it's hooked to the bike, they'll cover it as far as liability.
Right.
Yeah, they're not going to cover like fire, stolen, what they call it, comprehensive. I think it's called comprehensive. I'm not an insurance person, but I think that's what they call it. But so I just had a policy taken out.
Okay.
Some people think just because they hook their trailer to their bike that they're covered.
Right.
Insurance companies are different. All of them are not the same. So just depending on who you're with, but just because you hook it to the bike don't mean it's covered.
Right.
With State Farm, they say you have to have a separate policy. So that's what I had. That's what I have for mine. It's got a separate policy. So in the event something happens, they got to give me a new trailer, my brother.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, because, I would have to get a hitch and a trailer, and, probably a separate policy.
Yeah. The hitch coming for your bike?
Yeah.
Yeah. I tell people, if you even thinking you may want to pull a trailer someday, go ahead and get your hitch now.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do it at one time, but when you do a hitch, when you buy a hitch and then having it put on, you're probably spending anywhere from with the hitch, the wiring, and getting it put on. If you don't do it yourself, the parts alone will cost you less than about $500 maybe, $400 and something, $400.
Yeah.
And if you add the labor on that, so you could easily spend just doing a hitch setup.
Yeah, this guy I know.
I'm guessing about $700.
This guy I know, he did a video on YouTube about how to do that. Yeah, this guy. Caliente, this Caliente guy.
Well, that's true too. That's true. That's true. Yeah, he did. I remember that video. The blueprint. But yeah, you could do the work yourself. You could, the trailer wiring kit, and that's why I say with the Gold Strike distribution block, it runs a trailer. So I recommend, instead of buying a trailer harness kit, just buy the Gold Strike distribution block. That's $250. Then you're gonna need the hitch itself. That's probably, I don't know, I hadn't priced it in a while, but things have gone up. That may be about $400 maybe, just for the hitch. You could try to skimp out and buy a trailer wiring harness kit for $50. But the only problem with that is, if you want to go to add lights later, now you're going to have all these extra wires under your seat.
Right.
So instead of doing that, just got to go for a distribution block, and now that covers your lights, that covers your trailer wiring, that covers your Pathfinder, that covers your Universal, and that covers your karaoke.
Yeah.
So that's $250. That's about $250. I'm guessing, and then another $350 to $400 on the hitch. And that's what, $600? And then getting it put on if you don't do it yourself.
Yeah, so you're looking at probably like $5 or $6 grand to run a trailer.
Your trailer could cost that much. It all depends, man. It depends on if you want to fly high or fly low. My trailer behind me cost me at the time, I'm thinking about $7 grand maybe. Ooh.
Wow.
But I mean, you could get them cheaper than that. You could get them. Got to turn here to slide up here. You could actually get them cheaper than that, Mr. Pat. You don't have to spend that much. You could. A decent trailer, but it depends if you're trying to buy new or used.
Right.
A good new trailer, expect to spend $5 grand.
Yeah.
Just for the trailer alone. Expect it could be more than that now, depending on what brand you get and how you want it to look.
Right.
If it's going to be brand new, you got Hannigan, you got Escapade, you got, I think, Bush Tech. I don't know if they're still in business.
Bush Tech.
Yeah, Bush Tech. They were out of Tennessee. I heard someone said they went out of business, but I don't know. I haven't been keeping up. Bush Techs are high. So, your trailer alone, you can spend at least $5 grand on that, and then, like I said, you're going to spend at least $500 for doing getting set up to pull it.
Right.
And that's on the low end. But if you're paying somebody to put it on and everything, so, you can spend $700 easily. More, I don't know. Depending on where you take it. And, or you can find a good used trailer. Sometimes you can, I notice now you can't hardly find used trailers like, at one while, used trailers was everywhere. You can find a used trailer easily, man. Now, used trailers seem like it's like trying to find a house for sale. You remember how it just, it was houses for sale everywhere.
Right.
Now, a lot of these investment companies have bought up all of the houses and renting them out, and now you don't see as many you don't see as many houses for sale. Not economical houses. You'll see like houses very expensive that you can't even afford, but it's an average family-sized home. You don't see too many of those for sale.
Yeah.
Right? So it's kind of like that with trailers. Every now and then you'll see a deal go by. But it used to be trailers was everywhere, man.
Wow.
But also too, now the price of everything is going up. But you can get a trailer like I got. You can spend with nothing on it, just a basic color.
Right.
You can spend $5,000 with nothing on it.
Right.
No cooler, no cover, no wing, no none of that. No rack, no two-tone, none of that.
Right.
No cone, just a basic trailer like mine. You can spend $4,500, $5,000. And I have a lot of people ask me, man, why you pull a trailer everywhere you go? Convenience. It's a combo. It don't hinder my ride. As a matter of fact, it makes my ride more gooder. More better? More gooder. More gooder.
More gooder.
Yeah, it makes my ride more gooder.
All right.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not bouncing around, you know, it's not in the way. I can still hit the curves, I can still hit the twisties. Like I said, you know, if I see something on the way, I want to bring it home, like a watermelon, if I happen to see one. I'm glad I didn't change my oil. I would have been really pissed.
Hey, you just be set up for your next trip, that's all.
Well, you remember when I got the recall done, you know, that came with the oil change.
Yeah.
And I was tempted to change it. I was tempted to change it before I headed north. But I was like, you know what? I could actually change it when I get back because the Goldwing call for an oil change, I think it's every, 8,000 miles? Even though I wouldn't go that far, but...
Yeah.
I think it's every 8,000 miles. So I said, well, I'll just change it when I get back. I'm kind of glad I didn't change it because I still got a lot of life left on the oil. I think I've only put about 3,000 miles on the oil that's on here now since I've had the recall done.
Wow.
So I still got a few thousand miles left of between the next oil change.
Yeah, I'm at exactly 9,000 miles right now.
Since the recall? Or you talking about your total miles?
Yeah, 9,000. Up 9,001.
9,001. And there was an alligator. For a second, man. A big crocodile. I'm like, what?
Oh, man.
Good. Big movie.
A lot of trailer homes out here.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
That's good, though, too. They're probably paid off. Your land probably paid off.
Yeah.
You know? Shoot.
Yeah, that's true.
It's called easy living, bro.
Easy living.
Yeah. Could you imagine all the money you make is just for you? You ain't got to give it to nobody.
Man, I can't even imagine that, man.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine that, man. Making a left up here on this 155 West. Nice little dip. You got a big old dip. Good gracious.
Yeah.
Seems like this time it don't seem as short. It don't seem as long.
Yeah, we rolling. We ain't speeding or nothing.
No, not yet.
No, we're not speeding. Yeah. Caliente say not yet.
Not yet. I think with these new helmets, they need to put more padding at the tip top, at the crown of the helmet.
You know what though? I actually called the manufacturer, and they sent me out different padding sizes for my helmet.
Oh, okay. For HSE?
Yeah, they actually sent me a kit to change my liner and then the cheeks.
Right.
I told them, the helmet is the right size, but the cheeks are too loose, and I had pressure on my forehead, a little bit of pressure. So they sent me some stuff out.
Alrighty. Yeah, this helmet, man, I noticed even with the HJC, there is not much padding at the top. I mean, when you compare it to the Shoei, it's the same. It's like they're using the same padding on the top.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know what's up with that, man. You would think that a Shoei helmet would have extra padding at the top, but it doesn't.
You going deep in the pockets for that Shoei, boy.
Yeah. They charging a lot for them, that Shoei.
But that's your nickname anyway, ain't it? Deep pockets.
No, it's pocket change. Pocket change. Yeah. It's called pocket change.
Yeah. I'm not buying it.
Shoot, man. That's all that is, Pat. That's pocket change there, my brother.
Yeah. Pocket change for you.
Woo. Pocket change, my brother.
Mr. Deep Pockets.
You know what? Somebody had asked me. I don't remember who it was. It could have been you. I don't remember, but it wasn't you. Somebody was asking me about the Honda Goldwing. How does it feel, in the wind? As far as, does the smaller bike handle the wind better, or does the bigger bike handle the wind better? And to be honest with you, it seemed like the smaller bike handles the wind better.
Really?
Yeah, the bigger Goldwing, I guess because it was bigger, it's taking on more wind. Does that make sense? It's kind of like it's bigger, so it's taking on more wind, whereas the smaller Goldwing is more narrow and is penetrating through the wind.
And they weigh about the same too, right?
Well, the bigger Goldwing is heavier than the newer Goldwing. But even in crosswinds, it seemed, it's times that when I would be riding on the big Goldwing, I was riding sideways because the wind was just pushing it, right?
Right.
But on the smaller Goldwing, it seems like it handles the wind better.
Yeah.
I can't even remember the last time I was riding sideways, but when I was on that big wing, a lot of times I was riding sideways almost. So it seems like the smaller wing handles the wind better.
Wow.
The bigger wing was more comfortable, but the smaller wing handles the wind better. Yeah.
Do you wish you had kept your other one, or are you happy?
Never. Okay. I never looked back. That's the thing about it, Mr. Pat. When I sold Big Sexy, it was time to sell Big Sexy, so I don't have no remorse. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's, I never get the feeling that, man, I should have kept it. I never feel like that.
All right.
I mean, to be honest with you, I haven't even felt like that one time.
Right.
And I really enjoyed that bike. It was a nice bike. Matter of fact, the guy that bought it for me texted me yesterday. Yeah. Shout out to Mr. Shields. P. Shields. Live there in Maryland. Near D.C.
So let me ask you this then. When you bought your 21, At any point, did you have buyer's remorse?
21, but I didn't know I was going to like it as much. So much so that I got rid of my big bike.
Right.
That's why they say don't knock it until you try it. Once I fixed it up and made it my own, and we're crossing over into Missouri.
Wow. Mm-hmm. This is the Mississippi, right?
This is the mighty Mississippi River.
She wide, boy. She wide.
That's what she said.
Wow.
Yeah, we are missing this, but actually we're going to go into Tennessee, then we're going to end up crossing back into Missouri.
Wow. Yeah, Missouri. Welcome, Missouri.
Yep.
So we're going to go past that one spot.
Yeah. I started to just take you all the way up on, going north and take you up into Cairo, Illinois, and then bring you back over into Missouri that way.
Right.
But this was a little bit shorter. It would have been a little bit longer going that way.
Right. It's all good.
Yeah. So yeah, my unit in the R4, it shows you how fast you're going, and now it shows the time. So I got it set up where I can see my speed and what time it is. I like that. Okay. I didn't think I was gonna like my R4 much.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Oh boy.
That bird not trying to get you by the throat, is it?
What was that?
Said that bird not trying to get you by the throat, is it?
Man, let me see.
That barrel get you by the throat.
Oh, it ends, huh?
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Speechless, name.
That's what I don't understand either. Like, I got this thing I got to go to at the end of the month. And dude, they're talking about trailer and their bikes is only like 4 hours away, man, or 6 hours, you know.
Hey, Pat, do you want to stop at the rest stop or you want to keep running?
Well, if we stop, I'd rather stop where we can top off. I'm good, unless you want.
Well, we're going to top off in Boomland anyway.
All right, well, yeah, we can stop for a little break if you want.
Yeah, let's take a little 10-minute break. Whatever. But you said they want to run it back again. What they was wanting to do? Pull their bikes.
Talking about trailer and bikes and stuff. I'm like, it ain't really that far. It's only like 4 or 6 hours, something like that. You know?
Right. Like ride the damn bike.
Yeah.
You got a touring bike, and you want to. I get it. I mean, I pull my bike, but believe me, that ain't my first choice. That's like a last resort. You know, I will pull my bike. I'm not above pulling my bike, but I enjoy riding the bike. I enjoy riding it more than pulling it.
I'm going to be honest. If I don't ride mine, I ain't bringing it.
Uh-oh, them dogs barking.
That's right. Look out now.
We got them dogs barking, man.